Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. And we reported yesterday how the legal advice to the SNP and Nicola Sturgeon was to not proceed with court cases and not to appeal and not to do anything else. And yet they went ahead with it anyway. Ignoring one's legal advice is tantamount to stupidity. But when it's the taxpayer paying for it and you're ignoring it, then it's tantamount to criminality, I suspect. You are wasting public money. Therefore, the only reason they proceeded with the case is out of political ideology. Sheer vindictiveness, of course, being the other one. But now there are demands for Nicola Sturgeon to face a whole new probe over her role in the salmon sex claims investigation. And this time I think it should be held by an outside independent police force. One well away from Police Scotland and one able to ask the questions without political interference. Certainly, Bain should be well away from it, and every witness should be given an opportunity to speak freely and without fear of prosecution. Make the deals. Tell them if they grass on those above them, they can walk free and get it all the way up to the top. Who knows? But the demands are being made for this inquiry. The calls for the new probe into whether Sturgeon was involved or not, although I personally think she was, and many other people personally think she was. Whether she was or not, entirely different matter, but one only has to look at the facts around this and the timing, and one understands how the mind of Nicola Sturgeon works on other matters, and it's quite easy to draw the conclusion that she was deeply, deeply involved. Part of her coup d'etat, perhaps, allegedly, to oust Salmond and take control of the party, which is effectively what happened, of course. Now, this comes as ministers yesterday were forced to release an unredacted version of all the legal advice. The previous one was redacted in full, literally line, all black lines. But now all 132 pages have been published. They're on the website. You can go look for yourself, although I don't recommend reading it. It's 132 pages of legalese. Very dry, very boring. But summed up, the basic line is that Bain said, "Oh, go for it, you can do it." But the Rory Newman, the independent legal advisor at the time, basically said, "Don't." That was the advice. Don't do it. There are other cases with which this can be tested better. But they needed to get salmon out, so they went ahead. Now, they're trying to cover up as much of it as possible. They're trying to whitewash it. They're trying to say that it was, not very clear, but it was. Because what they're trying to do is protect Sturgeon. Even now, 2 years on, they're trying to protect the Sturge. You have to wonder why. Who is in trouble? Who would Sturgeon drop in it, who's currently in positions of power? What does she have on them that they still feel now, years later, she must be protected? It's like a little cohort. You've got to hang together, or they'll all be hanged separately. We do need it. We do need an absolute opening up of these investigations. We all want to see the revelations. Strangely enough, two very senior SNP people, Joanna Cherry and Fergus Ewing, are both calling for a full, open investigation of their own party and its leadership. But those two are two, I think, that a lot of people can get behind as being fairly decent. They're the few, aren't they, among the many. Wait and see. I suspect nothing will come of it. But, they've got to protect dear Leaderine. But it would be good to see it. Let me know your thoughts. Speak soon. Goodbye.